Well, this is part two because it got cut off there. There's my waterfall and wind chimes that you were listening to. Anyway, so what he's saying, is like, don't worry about it, Mike, if you don't remember all these things, because you can just, anytime you want, go in your backyard or wherever you're at and just spend some quiet time with me and ask these questions and just get quiet. Go down within yourself. Kingdom of God is within. Close your eyes, rest, peace. Don't strive. It's not about work. And I'll show you picture after picture, and you can write them down. So you can remember them. So he wants a relationship. It's not like, okay, you're gonna meet me once in a while and take notes and then not even see me for a month or whatever. That's not a relationship. So he doesn't send a memo. It's not about writings. He said it's not about writings. That was the old covenant. The new covenant is about relationship, direct, personal, intimate relationship. All the words for knowledge, go look at the knowledge page and go look at the relationship page. It's all about that. Direct teaching, go look at the teaching page. So that was really comforting to know, is that I don't have to stress about this. I can go to listen to him anytime, and he's happy. He's happy to just show me one thing after another. He'll do the same for you. Absolutely. It's like no respecter of persons, totally impartial. I mean, this is what a relationship is. You get together and you talk with each other. So you talk and listen. So the other thing that was very good in all this is that he said in all these dreams is all about disconnecting, unplugging from the world. And he reminded me of, how I told you, I've read the Bible so many times, so sometimes he just reminds me of something that I read, years ago, whatever. And about being a pilgrim in this world, you're just traveling through. This is not really your world. I said that you were in the world, but you're not of the world. Just like I'm not of the world. Jesus is not of the world. And so you're not supposed to love this world. And because of the world's not going to love us. The more we become more like Jesus, the less the world is going to like us. They're not going to love us. Because Jesus stood out like a sore thumb. He was so different from the world. A lot of people were attracted to that, but a lot of people were really offended by that. They were really, because they wanted to remain in their darkness, and they didn't want anybody rocking their boat, right? And so one of the things he told me is that you have enough on your plate. I don't want you to put more things on your plate. Keeping up with the news and keeping up with this world political system and the fate of the United States. He says, the United States is not even mentioned in the Bible, in end time prophecies. Who knows if it's even around? But that's his business, and I'm not supposed to be diddle-daddling around in his business. It's too complicated. And you're always second-guessing yourself. The information is all over the map out there, so you don't know who to believe. You can read 30 sources and you'll get 25 different answers. So he doesn't want, maybe some people are called for this. He's called them to this mission. But that's not my mission. My mission's about anointed prophetic music and the gospel and my relationship with him. And expressing that. So he said, you got enough on your plate. You don't need to add anything more to your plate. I don't want you to complicate your life. I came to simplify people's lives, not complicate their lives. I was like, really? He said, yeah. When I said, take my yoke upon you, that's a harness of training. You train a inexperienced oxen to plow a straight line by yoking it or linking it with a wooden harness and some leather straps to a experienced oxen that knows how to plow a straight line. And before long, just traveling close beside, that's the key. If you're close beside, just like that kitty cat in the first part was close beside me. That's where we get parallel. Para means close beside. He says, close beside God, all things are possible. Close beside man, nothing's possible. Very few things are possible. But close beside God, all things are possible. So, he's infinite in his ability. So we got to get it close beside God. We got to get close beside God. And he says, that's important for you, Mike. That's important for all of us to get close beside him if you want to have anything happen. So he said, when I said, take your yoke upon me, my yoke upon you, and this is the way to learn, he says, and he links to this in the Greek, he links to it, and coupled to this, learn the essentials from me. Monthano, learn the essentials from me. He doesn't want me to learn a bunch of extraneous, esoteric stuff. He wants me to just learn the essentials from him, It's enough to learn the essentials. He doesn't want us to get distracted and learn all this, Bible code and all this. It's distraction. It's not the essentials. It's enough to learn the essentials. And you have to come to him. He says, you have to come to me, close beside me. Duete, come here. Really, right now, close beside me. Duete. And it's an imperative. He says, I strongly urge you to come here close beside me. Right now. It has a sense of urgency. And take my yoke upon you. And then that's how you're going to learn the essentials from me. And then he says, and I told you that my burden is light. The burden was kind of like a backpack. It's a load. It's a load that you carry. People back then carried everything on a backpack, So that burden that you were carrying around was not going to be heavy with a lot of stuff in it. And the other rabbis, they put 613 commandments into that backpack. And they added even more, he said. They added even more. And that's the oral Torah. And he says, but you won't lift a finger to take one of those out of there. You won't lift a finger to help them carry any of those burdens. You just keep putting more burdens in them. Because that's not me. That's not the way I do it. I'm a rabbi, but I don't do anything like them. And he says, my burden is so feather light to carry. It's so feather light. I don't want you to put a lot of stuff on your plate. It chokes you out. He talks about how the cares of this world, they choke the life of the plant. They choke the life of the plant out. The plant can't grow because they're just being choked by the weeds, by the cares of this world, by the love of money and the cares of this world. Just choke out the plant. It's like a bunch of weeds. Weeds just choke out the plant. They take all the nutrients. They steal all the food. They steal all the water. They're taking all the attention away from the essentials, right? So he says, no, you got enough on your plate. You don't need more stuff on your plate. You don't need more weeds to choke out the life that I want to give you. That was really something. So he's saying that's all this news for you, Mike, chasing down all this news and trying to follow the politics and worrying about, the fate of this United States of America. It's God is the one that creates nations. He created this nation. There's no doubt about it. You go read the founding fathers. But he also can eliminate nations that rebel against him. He just wipes them out. He just lets their enemies take over. He creates nations and he lets the nations perish as they rebel, as they become sinful. So, it's all up to him, isn't it? He's the nation creator and the nation breaker. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. There is no blessedness for a nation that does not have God as the Lord, as their master and as their owner. So it's just the way it is. So don't worry about it, Mike. It's in my hands, totally in my hands. Nothing you read or nothing you worry about is going to change one thing. Your vote may not even change one thing, but I did a responsible thing. I voted, but don't do anything more. It's in my hands. Wow, that's amazing. So he took a big load off me because it was taking up a lot of time. I was always checking my phone and seeing what was happening and developing, and I'd send it to my friends and all these patriots that I'm stay in touch with. It was taking up too much of my thoughts, and it has been for like 4 years. It's horrible. I never used to think about any of this stuff until the nation around me was crumbling. Instead of, I guess I thought that was important to know all that stuff, but it just made me more frustrated because it's just getting worse. It's not getting better. So, well, thank you, Lord, that set my priorities straight, that I don't need to add more stuff to the plate. You already give me what I need to do on the plate, responsibilities I have. So I have a beautiful yard here, and I'll show you a little bit of it. So you can see it's really real pretty out there right now. And I got some bins out there. I'm pulling up my sheets. I got a lot of sheets from all the plants that I cover during the winter. But the kitty cat's down here. He's there looking for some mouse. And the birds. There's so much going on in this backyard. Anyway, you hope you guys have a great day, and be blessed, and seek the Lord, and close your eyes and look down inside. That's where He's at. Holy Spirit's within you, and look down below inside and ask Him questions, and be prepared to see stuff in your mind's eye. Oh, kitty cat wants to come up here. Oh, my little kitty cat. So be prepared to see stuff come up in your mind's eye, and ask questions about it. He'll tell you. He'll show you more. And it's called prophecy, prophetic rhema. It's His directly spoken rhema word. And a lot of times He shows you pictures, because a picture is 1,000 words. And sometimes you see actual words. Sometimes you get feelings. Like I said in the last video, I felt this feeling of being stroked, and comforted. Oh, now Kitty's up here. There is a kitty cat. He thought I was talking to a person here. Anyway, God bless you. If you have some comments, put them below, and we can share each other's experiences. God bless you. Bye-bye.